Yo guys, it is Xzeoxe here, and today we're going to be talking about chapter 242. Chapter title is Stupid Survivor Rise Up. So it's actually pretty funny because chapter begins with Kenjaku summoning a special grade curse named Akuro Otake against Takaba. And it looks pretty ugly, to be honest with you. Next thing we get to see is actually Kenjaku's special grade curse get obliterated, and I mean obliterated by Takaba's called Truck Kun, which is funny. It's super, super funny. So things get interesting from now on, so don't get confused. Kenny then becomes a police officer as he arrives to investigate. He accuses Takaba of drinking and driving, asks Takaba to breathe in a bag to check his blood alcohol level, which it's a joke, of course, because you can't do that. So it's pretty funny. And the bag in which Kenny asks Takaba to blow air contains a goldfish. Kenny says that he's arresting Takaba if it dies, but already dead prior to their convo. So the fish is already dead. Takaba and Kenny both become doctors later and try to treat the fish, but Kenny charges defibrillators on Takaba, and it's super funny. You just see Takaba getting shocked. So there you go, have it on that part. They fail to rescue the fish and then gets Takaba depressed, but Kenny turns into a nurse, which Takaba doesn't find funny. Takaba yells at Kenny. So that's actually pretty funny how they're having a little argument between back and forth on their little skit, right? Then Kenjaku and Takaba then play rock paper scissors, which is kind of interesting because right after this we get to actually see kind of his curse technique in play. So Kenjaku realizes Takaba's curse technique isn't just about forceful materialization of Takaba's imagination. It could also affect the opponent's imagination and uses it. So as you can see, I'm gonna show a little clip. It shows actually Kenjaku bleeding a little bit. So that's actually very interesting. So he was actually able to be damaged in that way, right? So Takaba and Kenjaku are now playing games, like quiz games attached, and then we have a little attachment of translation for the page. So it goes host, who's in history has ever made a phrase like "There's no such thing as funny, but there might be." Kenjaku would be Shinsaku Takusugi. But what, you idiot? You didn't expect that? In particle and nuclear physics, what is the group of strongly interacting elementary particles? I don't know. Harden. There you go. Someone told you, didn't they? You know what's funny is that I don't know. That might not be a hint to Yuki because Yuki's abilities, but that'd be funny. Host then asked the participants to choose the correct door, which is difficult to tell others. Self-recommendation or designated school recommendation, like basically a Japanese college entrance. Both Kenny and Takaba rushed towards the door, saying the question was easy. So you can see him rushing to the door, which is funny. Just as he was about to rush, Takaba hears someone yelling for help. He then notices a cat in the middle of the road while a taxi is about to hit it. Takaba runs to save it, but the cat turns out to be Kenjaku. Hello, that's funny. And then Takaba gets hit by the car instead. So that's actually pretty funny. Kenjaku's actually using the humor against him. They are now in a body of water, and Takaba runs over Kenjaku with a ski jet, or a jet ski. I don't know why I said ski jet. That's funny. So it goes back and forth. So they're using their humor against each other, which is actually pretty good. Kenjaku should be winning this fight because he has 1,000 years ahead of him for comedy. But I mean, maybe there was no jokes back then. Kenjaku and Takaba later play in the water like kids, which is funny, right? They're kind of kiddish. Kenjaku starts thinking, "It's so fun. How many years has it been since I've been this excited? I'm glad I started the Colling Games." Kenny suddenly realizes his thoughts got manipulated again and attacks Takaba. So pretty good, pretty good. He's basically distracting Takaba in the actual curse technique. Takaba stops Kenjaku and asks him to drink the ocean water. It turns out to be Fanta. That's funny. Kenjaku realizes that he'll lose at this pace. All this countless scenarios are a simulation for Takaba, but Kenjaku is steadily accumulating damage, which makes sense. The nosebleed, and then as well as the jet ski, and then so on, right? Kenjaku realizes that this fight won't end until Takaba's desire for comedy is fulfilled. So Kenny decides to suit up, and it just shows both of them suiting up into a suit and then going onto stage. Well, supposedly on stage. We don't know if that's Takaba right next to him, but Kenjaku invites Takaba for a final stage battle, and then there's going to be no break next week, guys. So this is actually very, very interesting on what's going to happen, right? Because me personally, I think This is where it's gonna get into some dark humor. Dark humor can get a little bit more deadly, right? But yeah, so those are the little leaks for 242. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that. Make sure to subscribe and like. Let me know what you guys think is gonna happen in the next chapter, and then yeah, we'll go from there. And then I'll make sure I make a video on that one too. Peace out, guys.